Hello and welcome to the Confessions of an Oversharer. While it is not a trait that I am proud of, the first step is acknowledgement. I cannot lie. I am definitely aware of the amount of times that oversharing, overtalking has bitten me right in the ass. That has led me to this point of self-awareness to really want to get intentional about doing something about that because that's just the way I am. Is not quite cutting it anymore. Future me, she doesn't overshare. I've always envied the mysterious girlies. Always. How do you do that? How would you just not talk? There's just something about that person who's most silent in the room is the one that you don't want to mess with. There's a reason why that stigma exists. And I want to be that woman. That's where this desire started. And then I started thinking about it even more. Like in which ways I have sabotaged myself by sharing a little bit too much. Whether it is my manifestations crumbling because I shared something a little bit prematurely or to a person with the wrong intention, or whether it was a case of me sharing an opinion that no one asked for and then I end up unintentionally offending either someone I care about or don't know at all. When it comes to manifesting, I think that there is a value in not sharing for multiple reasons. You never know whose ears it's falling on. There is something special about keeping specific gems to yourself, at least until they come to fruition. And there's so many things that I've gone through that were going so good, and as soon as I shared it, it plummeted. It's because it kind of wasn't developed enough. I had a relationship with a friend where I just told her way too much. I told her every detail about my days. I told her everything about my goals. As soon as I had an idea, before I could really nurture it, I would tell her. It's caused so many issues for various amount of reasons. First of all, you are not actually setting up your boundaries. Because if you're just yappa 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 yappa, what kind of boundaries or expectations are you putting on someone else? Then if they feel like it's okay to talk about your goals in a certain type of way, then they think it's okay to check in. It's just giving the person way too much power. That is a friend that is no longer in my life, but as I was doing it felt involuntary. I was like, sometimes I would tell her things and I'm like, why did I just say that? I could have kept that to myself, just based on her response or just like a gut feeling that I gave too much of myself away. It was weird to experience it like that because it's kind of like, why can't you just keep your mouth shut? Even now, looking back at that relationship and now that it's non-existent, I still do feel that way, that a lot of the things that I share, I was actually stabbing myself in the back by doing so. It was an interesting observation that almost immediately after I cut off that tie, I had more energy to actually do the things that I was thinking of doing. I got through so many of the goals that I kind of was stagnant with while being their friend, and I just felt like my cup was so much fuller because every little thing that was happening, I wasn't running to report it to her. And what did that say about me? What did I lack within myself where it's not enough for me to write that down in a journal or go to God in prayer with whatever's on my heart? Why am I seeking an outside person for validation? And in turn, literally getting the opposite over time. I swear, this friend was a person that, like, whenever I had a new love interest, every time I would open up my mouth to tell her about my relationships, it's like by the next time I was with that person, the vibe just wasn't there, or the next encounter I had with that guy would just not be it. And within a little bit, like, it would fizz out. Now, was that a coincidence or what? I don't really believe in those, but there's been so many times that I feel like someone stopped messing with me because I was either too loud or opinionated about something that no one was asking for. And it's like, why am I speaking on these things? I can literally feel like people respecting me less after I shared something that, no one really asked for. I mean, that's not something that I want if I can avoid. Like, how awkward and embarrassing is that? There's just something so much more powerful about working on something behind the scenes instead of saying, hey, this is what I'm going to work on and not working on it. Again, when I see this all empowered, like higher version of myself, she is not beating herself up because she's ruminating on something that she said that she didn't have to say because she didn't think before she talked. like I do. So that leads me straight into, what am I doing to change this like kind of automatic reaction that I have, this habit that I have to just blab out my mouth before I think? I'm not gonna act like this is just all bad, because some of my funniest moments, funniest jokes, most genuine moments come from me just saying what's on my mind. But there needs to be a little bit more restraint and control on that. So the very first thing that I'm like being a little bit more mindful of doing is thinking before I talk. And I know that sounds so basic, but I genuinely don't always. Sometimes I don't even hear what I said until after it came out of my mouth. And I mean, I love the transparency, like I love it, but not all the time. Just taking a breath, buffering, like especially in moments where I'm triggered. These are moments that I want to take a breath and think about what is about to come out of my mouth. Also, I think that it will nourish my relationships. I think that I could be a better friend, a better partner if I'm actively listening, if I'm not cutting them off, if I'm not saying something out of being in the heat of emotion. There's a lot of benefits to meditation to reduce anxiety levels, but mostly to be comfortable with a place of stillness, exercise, that pause, awareness before speaking. I think that meditation is really good for impulses, being impulsive. I'm super impulsive, and it definitely is evident in the way that I speak sometimes. Hoping that overall something like meditating can make me a bit more mindful and like give me the tools when I'm in a real-time conversation. I'm able to take a breath, even if it's 1 second or 2 seconds. That's more than I've done in the past. Here is to the version of myself that doesn't struggle with this as much, or no longer struggles with this, but I feel her. I feel her forming. I feel her shaping up. I feel like she is closer than far. She is nearer than far. She's just around the corner. But I would love to hear y'all's thoughts. Does anybody else struggle with oversharing? Is there anything that you've been exercising or implementing to try to get a grasp on it? Or has it been something that you're not even fully aware of? These are the types of things I think of, but I would love to start a discussion if you fall across this video and perhaps it resonates with you. Also, I'm here to stay. I'm challenging myself to post every day, so we'll see how that goes. That's quite a commitment. I don't really want to commit to it on a weekly basis. I want to at least just hold myself accountable to regularly posting and getting out of the mindset of overthinking and, you know, wanting everything to be perfect in order to put myself out there, because I'm so tired of that being the thing that holds me back. So if these types of discussions are something that interests you, please subscribe, please like, please say hello, because I am here to stay. YouTube has always been a dream of mine, and I'm tired of it being just that, a dream. I want to see some things turn real. I want to see it come into my reality. So here's to growth and development, and here's to kissing, over talking, and oversharing. Bye, and may it be a thing of the past for us all.